Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of my Sudsy recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and do a few reality shows on the side. Excuse me. One of those reality shows that we're doing is The Amazing Race, which just ended. So this is my last recap on The Amazing Race. And for a programming note, I will most likely be doing The Real Housewives of Potomac on Mondays, because Wednesdays is going to be my Real Housewives of New York City. My first one is this week. I cannot wait to talk about them. I love me. First of all, I love me. I know it's not time for that yet, but I'm going to say it anyways. I love me some Tinsley Mortimer. I've loved her for 10 years. When they first came on with the Housewives, it should have been with her in it. She's fantastic. Also, I love Dorinda. I fucking love Dorinda. She is the best. So I made it nice. Good for her. I love her. She's great. She's the best. Especially, I love Tipsy Dorinda. Not drunk Dorinda, because drunk Dorinda's mean Dorinda. But I like Tipsy Dorinda, because then she starts slurring her words and she thinks she makes perfect sense, and everyone else is like, what the hell is that woman saying, right? Okay, so The Amazing Race. Let's talk about the last episode of The Amazing Race. With no Team Cha-Cha-Cha. Damn it. So the final three teams are Team Lolo, London and Logan, female, male. Took me long enough, but I figured out who was who. Team Mom and Dad, which is Joey and Tara. And then there is Team Will and Grace, a.k.a. Team Brooke and Scott. And the winner of The Amazing Race is, drumroll please, Team Brooke and Scott. Yay, congratulations. Listen, I thought that I was kind of mean to you guys this past season. But honey, I looked on Twitter. Here's the thing. I love Twitter because Twitter is savage as fuck. Twitter is where everyone who thinks they're funny goes. And I'm not gonna lie, most people are pretty fucking funny. Especially the ones like, they were like, there was a part of the race where he was like, let me just carry you just this one leg. I promise you we'll get there faster. And she threw a fit. No, I don't want people to think I'm an invalid, blah, blah, blah. And someone on Twitter was like, really? You're going to bitch and cry about every single challenge that you have to do, but you don't want us to think you're an invalid? Honestly, I'd have more respect for an invalid, right? Because at least they're conquering their fears by getting out there and doing something. Whereas opposed to Brooke just is, I don't know what she did. It's funny because they talked about how Scott overcame his fear of heights and Brooke overcame everything. And I wanted to be like, no, she overcame nothing, actually. But this leg of the race, they were very smart. Now, you know how the boys, last episode, they decided, okay, we're going to take a train instead of a taxi because no one here is telling us to take a taxi. They're all saying it'll be too long in traffic. And if they had made that specific train, they would have. But they just missed that connecting train, and they had to wait for another one, and that put them in, and that was it. That split-second decision cost them the game. So, in this instance, the split-second decision was by the other team. They're like, we know this is the last leg of the race, so we checked our bags. So we are not that worried because we don't have any bags. We just have our little fanny packs. So in case there's a lot of running or a lot of stair climbing, we can do it. That was very smart. That was very clever. And I will say that I gave Brooke a lot of credit because when it came time to shoot out orders across Wrigley Field to have them put which place they came in the various cities. So the main one was Like, they weren't in the order of the race. They were in alphabetical order. So, like, the first ones was Asanopia or wherever the hell they were, I don't know, someplace. And then the second one was Athens, right? So then they did Lake Como. So they had a whole bunch, right? And literally she figured it out, and she was like, okay, we came in this and this one. Now go down one, and we came in this number. And then she said it all, and they were perfect. They were great. So they were like, okay, on to your next thing. And the next thing, of course, was the pit stop. So, they ran across the pit stop. It was nice to see Seth and Olive. Olive was actually looking real nice. You go, girl. Um, yeah, she was looking great. It's interesting to see these teams like Mike and Liz show up and be all happy and shit. And like Mike and Redmond. Was that his name? Mike? Matt. Matt and Redmond? See, I've already for the boys. Team the boys. I forget. I forget their names. And I honestly hope that rather than shelve this show for a whole other year, that you decide to bring it back with a completely different gimmick or with no gimmick at all. The show's the best when there's no gimmick. If they're with someone you know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you can figure it out along that trip. You don't have to, you know, already be in like 25 years of marriage or something, but you have to know at least enough about your partner to make better decisions, make better choices. Right? That's what my mom used to always say when I go to parties. Make good choices. Okay. If I was making a good choice, I wouldn't be going to this party to begin with. No, the parties I went to weren't that bad. Although, true story, okay, so one time I was in high school, and I was at this high school party, and I was a theater geek, so it's not like I went to these cool parties in high school. I didn't. We went to parties where we sang show tunes and shit. So we were at this one party, and it was way out in the valley, like Santa Clarita, like way North Valley. And all my friends lived all on the west side. So we're on our way back, and there's literally like 8 people in a car. And it's not like one of those big maxi vans. It's just a hatchback. And Ian he's this kid I went to high school with. He was driving, and he got pulled over because he had so many passengers. And the officer came in and asked us all, and I was like, yeah, we're leaving a party. And he's like, okay, we just want to pat you down for drugs. And I just started laughing because, I mean, the thought that I would do drugs, especially at that age in high school, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But the officer was getting pissed off at me, and he was like, look, it's important to retain your sense of humor in situations like this. I thought he said it's important to maintain your sense of humor in situations like this, so I start laughing louder. And my friends are like, oh my God, this kid is going to get us thrown in jail. But he was like, look, I'm driving these kids because a lot of them are too drunk to function, and they just need rides home. So being sober, I just took them home. And which was brilliant, because the guy was like, just remember, you've got all those extra people in your car, okay? So he took them home. He took us all home, And he took me home because he was my ride there. But at the same time, there was a little bit of truth. There were quite a few messed up ones that were with us. So I just never remember. I'll never forget. Sometimes you say the wrong things, right? And with me, it's always a joke. It's always a joke that bombs. It's always a joke that does not do that well. Whatever. You just gotta move forward, one foot in front of the other. Anywho, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Congratulations, Brooke and Scott, for winning the Amazing Race. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Amazing Race to talk Amazing Race, or you can hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk the Bold and the Beautiful. Okay, everyone. Oh, and you can also hit that little subscribe button on my YouTube page, which will get my videos sent to your email inbox every day. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.